What is one of the ways you can get success? Now, one of the key ways you can get success is being willing to do things other people won't do. Now, what do I mean by that? Say if you want a job and the job is dirty and dangerous, obviously it's going to pay more, right? There are some unskilled jobs still. For example, people who go down, I don't know, undergrounds or subways and then they have to kind of kill the rats or whatever. There are still some jobs like that pay very well. Or if you're working in, I don't know, the oil and gas industry and they send you over to a war zone, even though you're going to be protected by armed guards, obviously you're going to be paid more than if you're in Norway or Canada. That's obvious. But likewise in business, many people forget that there's a lot more money in being willing to do things that other people won't do, as opposed to just following what everyone else is doing. And in many cases, they're kind of making money off it. And there's a simple reason for this. There's less competition. A good example is this. If you're, I don't know, becoming successful doing 250 phone calls a day, cold calling, of course, most people are not going to copy what you're doing because it feels uncomfortable. Likewise, I can remember when I hired one or two people from my company and I told them about some of the techniques I've used in business. And what tends to happen is they'll do it for a few days or a few weeks, but then they'll give up. And this shows a very important thing, that a lot of people think it's about the ideas, but it's about the execution. Most people, if something's too difficult or too uncomfortable for them, they won't be able to execute, at least in the long term. So that means that if you are succeeding doing something that other people won't be willing to do, or the vast majority won't be willing to do, you can actually have an advantage even if everyone knows what you are doing. Because let's face it, right? Even if everyone knows what you're doing, but what you're doing is uncomfortable for most people's personality or skills or whatever, that doesn't mean everyone's going to rush and try to compete against you. Okay, everyone, I've got some really exciting news today. So for a couple of years now, many people have asked me, well, look, I can't afford your minimum investments, but I really like your advice. I don't know if you can do this or you can do that, or you can help me in that way, or you can't help me in that way. I've always said, no, I can only do this or that, but I've got some really exciting news, and that's that in a couple of months before the end of the year, I will be bringing out what I'm calling the Adam Fired Academy, which will have many new areas which will be of interest to people. So things like mentoring, tutoring, all those kind of things that people have asked me for in the past. So stay tuned. I'm going to be announcing it in the next few months, but I thought I'd tell it to you guys before. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you're looking for in this academy. We're going to be focusing on many different areas, including how to invest productively, also some business areas, because that's another thing people have asked me about before. So stay tuned and I'll keep you up to date.